Alright, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel today. Today I got the dirt jumper here again. We're going over something I've addressed in the past couple videos, and that involves my disc brake on the back. If you haven't seen those last two videos, I'll post a link right up here in the corner to both of those videos. I showed you guys how to bleed your brakes, how to install new pads. Sadly, my brake is still not working. Most likely I got some bad seals in there. Last time I bled it, lots of air came out, so my bet is there's a seal gone bad and letting a bunch of air into the system without rebuilding it or figuring out where that exact leak is. The brakes are pretty much done. So what I did, I actually took your guys' advice on my last video. I'm not sure if it's advice. Your guys' suggestions on how to properly bleed your Avid disc brakes. You buy a Shimano disc brake right here. So today we're going to go through should be a very simple task of just installing this disc brake on the dirt jumper here. Just going to take you guys through it if you've never done it before, just so you guys have an idea of what you're doing when you go upgrade your brakes. Alright, so let's go over the tools you're going to need. Obviously going to need a set of Allen keys here, depending on the size of the bolts you have on your disc brake lever and the caliper. Make sure you have a set of those. For mine is zip tied on. So if you have zip ties, you need a pair of cable cutters, scissors, something like that to cut those cable ties. Sometimes they have like little plastic clips. In that case, you can use like a little screwdriver just to pop those clips out. If you have internally routing, good luck. Have fun with that. You might need those internally routing cables, cable guides. But mine is not internally, so I need these here. And lastly, of course, you need your disc brake here, your new caliper, and your lever. I went for a Shimano, just a basic, I believe it's a Dior one here. So what I did, I actually went online, I bought a takeoff of a brand new bike. This was about 35 bucks or so for this whole set. So what you want to do before you buy a takeoff is make sure you're either getting the front or the rear. That's going to depend on which way the lever is facing. And then of course it's also going to depend on the length of the cable, or not the cable, the housing as well. So you have a rear caliper, you have a rear disc brake. Obviously your housing here is going to be a lot longer than if it's your front brake. So what you want to do before you order your brake, you want to go ahead and measure up the current housing on your current brake. That way you at least know a general length of what that's going to be. So when you're looking for one, you can try and find one that's a similar length to the one yours is. As always, you can make it shorter if you really wanted to, or you can buy a kit that's just the caliper, just the lever, and then the hose separately. You have to cut your own, bleed it all. This one should be pre-bled, everything all set to go. Makes it just a lot easier. First thing you want to do, you want to take off all of your zip ties here. You want to cut those off so you can get the hose off of here. Now you got your housing, your hose all loose here. Nice and loose and ready to go. So what we're going to do, we're going to move up to the front lever and the caliper. We're going to go ahead and undo these bolts here, get them loosened up, take them off. Now we'll get to installing the new one. Alright, so one thing you do want to take note of when you're taking it off, you want to notice where the spacers are on the bolts before. So if you look at them really closely, you can see that one's kind of a convex, and this is concave. So what these do, these actually fit on top of each other and allow you to adjust kind of the angle that your caliper is sitting at. So just a little more fine adjustments. Make sure you get the order of those right. Obviously there's kind of a thinner one and a little thicker one on the top. You want to make sure you know those, so when you take them off, put the new one on, you get them correct. Alright, so you got your old brake off. I'm going to show you what you do with these. These are Avid brakes. I'll show you what you do with all of them right here. Come right over here. Just like that, done. Brake is gone. We're going to install the new one. Alright, so going on to installing the new one. The first thing you want to do, of course, you want to unravel your hose here. I always start with the lever first. That way you still have the brake, kind of the block in the rear caliper. Just kind of snug it up like hand tight, so it's kind of going to stay in place a little bit. You're going to adjust it obviously once you get a little farther down. Alright, so when installing the caliper, what you want to do, you want to of course get your line as untwisted as you possibly can. And then you want to follow where the routing was before. So mine went kind of underneath the rear triangle here. And went right up here, just like so. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my brake block out there. And then you get your bolts. Same bolts you use to take them off. Put that one there. This one here. And then make sure you get your ones right here for the bottom. Cool, so got your spacers in there. Kind of nicely set it over the rotor. Obviously don't crank these down yet because you're going to do a little bit of adjustment on the placement of the caliper. I almost forgot one of the most important tools you're going to need. Set of zip ties here. These are going to be the same ones I used the last time. So with these, what we're going to want to do, we're going to want to feed these through the hold downs here for your housing. There should be 3 on mine. And what we're going to do, you're going to kind of run your housing through there. And kind of lightly snug these up. We're going to do some adjustment on where they're going to be finally set in place. So I don't know if you can see right here, but as you can see, there's a little tray here. That one's for if you like running a rear derailleur. But a similar kind of thing over here with the slots here for the zip tie to go through. So what you want to do, you want to get it in that slot, in that tray, and pull them down tight. Alright, so the last real step you're going to have in installing this is centering up the caliper onto the rotor. So all that, very simple. Like I said, leave those 2 bolts here nice and loose. And all you're going to do, go up to your brake lever, you're going to pull it tight, and then you just tighten down the bolts here, and that'll get it should line everything up perfectly so that when you finish tightening things up, it should be nice and centered on the rotor. Alright, and then of course, do the moment of truth where you pick up back the wheel and pull the brake, make sure it stops. Alright. Pull it in. I don't hear any pads rubbing, which is nice. And it stops right up. Alright, so one of the last things you got to do before you're done is actually positioning your lever where you want it, where it's going to feel most comfortable for you. So, if I wanted to do the one finger, right about there is where I'm going to like it personally. It's a little bit farther in than my last one. My last one had a lot bigger of a lever. So I'm going to tighten this sucker down right where it's at. You want to make sure you don't crank this down either as far as the torque setting for it. I don't have a torque wrench for the small stuff, but generally tighten it down to the point where it's snug, you know, but if you were to hit something with this really hard, it would break off, or it wouldn't break off, it would just move on the bars. So, sweet, we got a working brake on the dirt jumper finally. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video today. Got a working brake on the dirt jumper finally after about a month. Having just the brake that didn't work, we can actually finally stop again, and so we can start riding this bike again safely. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it helps you guys install your new brake system on your bike. Front brake can be the exact same process, just much shorter. It's just right down on the fork. So, hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. Definitely appreciate the support. If you're new to the channel and want to see more cool videos like this, please consider subscribing down below. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching today.